Welcome to Wine, Whiskey, and Real Estate. I'm really excited to share this show with you. This show is about awesome things and real estate. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about some really fantastic Burgundy wines, Burgundy being from France, and we're going to do a wine tasting technique that if you do this at your dinner parties, for sure you'll be the hit. Also, to sort of round this all up, we're actually going to cook some snails. I know, the dreaded word snails, but we'll just fancy that up with escargot. And we're not going to make regular escargot. We're actually going to make smoked escargot. And this will pair perfectly with the wines that we've chosen to do our wine tasting. So I'm excited to share this show with you today, so here we go. So what we're going to talk about right now is the ingredients for the escargot, the smoked escargot. So first, I know it sounds crazy, but you need very large snails. And we got ours from Burgundy, France. They're wild snails. So first thing we're going to do with these is we're going to wash them off really good. Now, I guess you could go out into your yard, you can get some snails and make some escargot, but you're going to eat whatever they're eating out in the yard, so we don't know what those are. That's why we get these, and they're harvested wild from France. In addition to that, we're going to actually use a butter compound that will put garlic in, a good amount of garlic, some shallots. I like to add parsley in there, and then we'll actually warm that up and put that in as a topping at the end. You also need some really fantastic little dishes. My friend Drew got me some dishes for today's show. We're going to put a little red wine in there, put the snails in there, and then the butter on top, and it's going to be fantastic. First step we're going to do, we're actually going to smoke the snails by themselves on the smoker. So here we go. So I got the escargot ready to go on the smoker. I have the smoker going about 250. I put apple wood and cherry wood in there. I personally like the fruit woods. It keeps it nice and not heavy smoke. It gives a nice fruity flavor, actually, ironically. Like I said, it's going about 250. We're going to put them on for 10 minutes. Once they're ready in 10 minutes, then we'll prepare them and put them in the dishes. We need a couple sticks of butter. I chose to pick out this Irish butter because it's going to be St. Paddy's Day in a couple days. We're just going to soften this and we're going to add the ingredients to it. So it's been about 10 minutes. We're ready for the snails to come off. They've been smoking at 250 with some apple wood and some cherry wood, as I mentioned. So let's see what they look like. Oh, they look perfect. Excellent. Here we go. So we're going to take them inside and we're going to plate them, get them dished up, and then bring them back out here for 10 more minutes. All right, so we're going to get this ready to go back out in the smoker. Let's prepare it. First, we need some Burgundy wine, red wine for the first level of this. I chose this wine because it comes from a fantastic region in Burgundy, specifically Montrachet, which also makes some of the best Chardonnays in the world. So we're going to put this into the plate first. I'll try not to make too much of a mess here, but we're just going to try to get this around and into each one of these dimples to put the snail in there next. All right, let's see, I'll just make a mess. So then we're going to get the snail in here next, in each one of these areas. The dimples look great, don't they? I know you do. So next, I'm actually going to heavy pepper them and a little bit of salt too. So nice fresh cracked pepper on top. I like pepper, so everyone gets to eat them the way I like them. And then we're going to do a little bit of salt. Remember, we used unsalted butter because we wanted to control the salt on these. A lot of people don't like snails, but I think of them as the mollusk of the land. So they taste very similar to mussels. All right, next we're going to put the compound butter on each one of these. This is where we're going to get a lot of the flavor. Okay, so next we're actually going to add a little bit of cheese. I have Parmesan cheese and then some other cheese I cut the mold off of, but it should be still good. The Parmesan is freshly grated. And again, the reason why freshly grated is just, it doesn't melt the same way. If you buy the stuff from the store, it's not grated correctly. So we're gonna get a good amount of this on there, make sure we have enough for everything. All right, so we're ready to put these on the smoker. Again, it's at 250, like we said. It might be a little bit higher, it might be a little bit lower. It's like 10 degrees outside, so temperature's a little wonky. So we're gonna put these on for 10 minutes. That's pretty much it. Once we're done 10 minutes, we're gonna bring them out and we'll give them a try. All right, folks, so here's my friend Drew. He is not an experienced wine drinker, but we're gonna show him the tasting technique that you can use at all your dinner parties. So it's very important when you're tasting wine to prepare your palate for the wine drinking. Now it takes 3 sips to get to the perfect taste of the wine. Did you know that?
I did not.
It's not a Tootsie Pop, it's wine. So here's what we're gonna do. Our first sip, and it's gonna sound strange because the wine won't taste perfect until we've gotten through this tasting technique. The first sip, I'm just gonna have you take a regular sip. So go ahead and let's do that, regular sip of wine. Now we're tasting, so don't drink it all. What do you think? Maybe some tart?
A little bit of like a sourness to it.
Right. So your palate's not ready for wine drinking. You need to prepare it. So next taste, what we're going to notice is after a little bit, the pH in your mouth is going to drop. It's going to be normal. It's not that tart, sour. We're going to take another sip, but this sip is unusual. We're going to take a sip and we're going to aggressively swish it around your mouth.
Okay.
You ready for that? All right, here we go. No noises, it's gross. All right, strong, right? You get a super strong flavor. A lot of alcohol.
Yep, you taste the alcohol in the back of your throat, the back of your mouth.
Yep. So, what we now are doing, we shocked our taste buds at the first part. In our second sip, we're calibrating the taste buds. In our third sip, we get to the final taste. So, at this point, it's very strong, very alcohol. We're gonna wait just a second, and then we're going to take our final regular normal sip and let's see if there's a difference. All right, here we go. You notice anything different?
It tastes like smoother, easier to drink. You get more of the pear flavor when you're drinking it.
That's right.
And I've actually never enjoyed wine before, but I think it actually tastes really good.
This is it, folks. This is your winning combination for your dinner party. So it's been an additional 10 minutes. It's time to take the escargot off the smoker. Looks fantastic. Got nice butter in there. You got nice red wine. You got some cheese on there. So let's see what it tastes like. All right, what we've been waiting for this whole time is to have some red wine with our fantastic smoked escargot. And I've recruited Drew again. No one else wants to eat escargot, so I guess we're just going to eat it all, which is fine with us. I think it's all right with you.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So here we go. Let's try some escargot. I'm very excited. You know, very fancy. Fancy restaurants use toothpicks. We're going to use one. But I'm going to try this without wine first. Definitely decadent. The smoke comes instantly. You know, it's all over the butter. You get a lot of the garlic in there. But a little red wine, a little butter. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've had escargot previously, butter and the garlic, but I've never had it with that smoky flavor, and it really makes it pop.
Yeah.
It gives it a very unique taste.
Well, I'm gonna try this next one. I have another one I'll try with the wine. See what we think. A lot of cheese on that one.
Yes, this one does as well. I have a switch.
Now, I know people say that I wouldn't eat this, have an aversion to eating snails, but it has nothing to do with that. If you eat seafood or oysters, mussels, this is right in that same line, the same family. Not too bad.
Wow. that paired with the wine, it actually brings out so many of the flavors of the wine that you couldn't taste before.
That's right. That's what the perfect pair is. They're supposed to complement each other. Not one should be more than the other. They should go right together. And I think I got lucky and picked out a pretty decent wine for this. So we've talked a lot about food and about wine, but let's talk about real estate for a quick second. This has been a really challenging year for everyone. The pandemic's been very tough. We know that. Sort of very interestingly, the housing market has just taken off. A lot of that is what I call the perfect storm. We have low interest rates that we've been experiencing for a little while. They have risen slightly, but still a great advantage for people to refinance and also for people to purchase. In addition to that, we have extremely low inventory. What that has done is has driven the prices of homes up. We have many qualified buyers who are buying at a low interest rate with very little inventory. That being said, we're seeing numbers for 15 to 20% over previous year market value. It isn't the worst time for a buyer to buy because the interest rates are so low. And it is a great time for a seller to sell because of the increased prices and the increased market value. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the market, please go to my website, jonathanbeaujali.com, or give me a call and I can help you out with all of your real estate needs. Dishes, ow, hot, and then we're gonna cook the escargot. I know that seems awkward, but what I'd like you to do next is I'd like you to put your pinky right underneath, right in that dinky.
The whole episode sounded really disgusting.
Okay, you gotta get one with a good amount of butter, a good amount of cheese. That's the one right there.
I am not a snail guy at all.
Have you ever had escargot before?
No.
It's a game changer.
It's first timer.
Not what you expect.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not
That's
bad.
pretty, that's pretty good.
Casey doesn't like it. It's not
It's pretty good.
It's not what you expected.
Or just like I thought of it.
Yeah. It's not what you expected.
It's really buttery, is the only thing.
Yep. But it doesn't taste bad, right?
No, it's good.
Looks spicy.
And it's like